Welcome to the Saturday edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. Today is December 15th, 2012. I'm Holly Seiler, leading our news tonight. We're learning more about the tragic shooting rampage at an elementary school in Newtown, Connecticut Friday. Of the 26 people murdered, 20 of them were children ages 6 and 7. Today, the medical examiner said all the victims were shot multiple times. It's a horrific crime that has left the Newtown community as well as the nation in shock. NBC's Jay Gray has more.
Caller's indicating she thinks there's someone shooting in the building.
Out of the chaos, a picture is now emerging of what happened as police deal with the overwhelming task of investigating Friday's killing spree.
The detectives will certainly analyze everything and put a complete picture together.
And today, we are learning more. Police now say the gunman, 20-year-old Adam Lanza, had at least 3 weapons when he forced his way inside the school.
This probably is the worst I have seen.
The medical examiner says all the victims he's seen were killed with an assault rifle.
I believe everybody was hit more than once.
Victims' bodies have been removed from the building and identified, but the investigation is still far from over there. An autopsy is still pending on the shooter and his mother, Nancy, who was killed at her home just a few blocks away. Today we learned she did not work at the school as some first thought, but police say they have recovered important information inside her home.
Our investigators at the crime scene, the school, and secondarily at the secondary crime scene that we discussed where the female was located deceased, did produce some very good evidence in this investigation.
Balloons, candles, and flowers are piling up across this small town. Memorials to the victims as so many try to cope with the loss of 20 small children, all first graders and 6 adults. Among the dead, Principal Dawn Hoxbrun and school psychologist Mary Sherlock, who ran toward the gunfire to try and save the children.
Our teachers take care of little kids, and it's unbelievable.
Unbelievable and unbearable.
I can imagine it.
A horror that seems so inescapable in this community. Jay Gray, NBC News, Newtown, Connecticut.
Officials with the Fairbanks North Star Borough School District say they were, quote, shocked and saddened when the news of the massacre first hit. Ironically, and according to Fairbanks School Superintendent Pete Lewis, his administration were already in the process of reviewing contingency plans related to school shootings and other such incidences. Lewis says while nothing can truly prepare for such a tragedy, plans are in the works to avoid disaster as much as possible. Lewis also said it takes a concerted effort from many to make it all work for the better.
It's not something that you ever want to have to plan for, and as a district, we do our best to have our crisis plans and drills and those kinds of things in place, and our teachers work very, very hard to build relationships with kids, and we have a wonderful school district with great support and great parents, and I think the best thing to think about in these kinds of circumstances and these kinds of situations is to take care of one another, and if you see something, say something.
3.5 years in jail for a 30-year-old man police say pushed a woman in the path of a moving truck after an apparent domestic dispute. During scheduled hearings late Thursday in state court, Carlos Colbert pled guilty to a single count of felony assault in the 3rd degree. Court records say last summer Colbert had been physically assaulting a woman identified as Sherry Eric when a second woman identified in records as JJ intervened. Colbert is said to have pushed JJ away in a manner that caused her to fall into a roadway on Noble Street and 10th Avenue and into the path of a furniture truck. Witnesses at the scene say the woman fell under the rear tire of the truck, sustaining critical injuries. With her parents, 2 daughters, and a crowd of well-wishers sitting nearby, Bethany Harbinson officially joined the Fairbanks Superior Court bench as a judge late Friday afternoon. Governor Sean Parnell appointed Harbinson to the Superior Court earlier this year. Harbinson replaced Judge Randy Olson in Fairbanks Superior Court when he retired last summer. Harbinson served as a magistrate and master in Fairbanks and also served for 10 years with the Alaska Public Defender Agency. Harbinson now joins Judges Douglas Blankenship, Michael McConaughey, and Paul Lyle on the Superior Court bench. Reached for comment, she says it was an honor to be appointed to the position.
I'm just so grateful and so humbled by being selected by Governor Parnell for this position and being given this trust, and it's just a very happy day for me and my family. I have my mom has come up, and just lots of my friends and family. My daughters are here to robe me, and this is just a very special day for us.
When we come back, our own Dara Lewis visits Fairbanks Memorial Hospital to see the only 4 babies that were born in the interior on 12/12/12. We'll have those stories and much more when we come back. Stay with us. It's that time of year again. The Fairbanks Police Department, along with other local law enforcement agencies and organizations, partnered up with a major retailer to brighten the holiday season for some special kids. The Shop with a Cop took center stage at Fred Meyer West late Friday evening. The shopping spree comes courtesy of donations from the community. Police officers paired up with a young person to help them choose gifts for friends and family. Fairbanks Police Officer Scott McCombie called it an honor to play a role in the lives of our youth. And while many regular shoppers were left wondering about the huge law enforcement presence inside the store, McCombie says it's all for the kids.
It's a great cause. 40 local kids were nominated by their high school their elementary school counselors to participate in this program. Kids that probably otherwise wouldn't be able to have a Christmas or had a loss of a loved one recently, something of that nature. Something that we can do to brighten their spirit and help them out through this holiday season a little bit. I think we get a lot more out of it than the kids do. It's great to be able to give back to the community and build those positive relationships with kids at a young age. Let them know that police are here to help and that we do care. So
not always the bad guy.
No, not always the bad guy.
Earlier this week, the world was all abuzz about the unique calendar day 12/12/12. Here in Fairbanks, it was no different, as many things were attributed to the day itself, including some special little ones who made their grand entrance into the world. News Center 11's Daryl Lewis was given exclusive access to Fairbanks Memorial Hospital and 4 happy mothers, fathers, and other family members who had new additions added to their family on 12/12/12.
Now, if you're keeping track at home, then you know it's a day that won't be coming back again. 12/12/12. That's December 12th, 2012. Now, here in Fairbanks, as well as around the rest of the world, lots of things took place commemorating this unique day, including the miracle of childbirth, which kept right on churning. On Thursday, the News Center was introduced to Noel Jordan Steiner, Jemiah Renee Williams, Peyton Annika Picotti, and the lone male Jonathan Glenn Hunt, who weighed in at 9 pounds 7 ounces and was 23 1/2 inches long. Big boy. All 4 share the distinction of having been born at different times on 12/12/12. Also on Thursday, officials at Fairbanks Memorial Hospital gave us exclusive access to 4 happy mothers, fathers, grandmothers, brothers, and sisters. 3 experienced in parenthood for the very first time as they talked about the day itself and the unique nature now that their relatives are tied to it.
We were really excited when we found out it was going to be on, his due date was actually the 11th, but then when he was born on the 12th, it was really cool because Nathan's mom has, gotten family pictures every year, when it was 111 and 222. And so we thought it was kind of cool.
I was really wanting a boy for the firstborn kid. I don't really care about the last one. I wanted a daughter at some point eventually, but I wanted the first one to be a boy, so they had a big brother. As soon as I found out he was due on the 11th, back in April or so, and I was really hoping he'd be born on the 12th, so he'd be a 12/12/12, but...
I'm just very, very blessed. Very blessed. Just too excited, first-time parent. My wife and I, just excited.
I feel really blessed to have our first daughter starting our family, and especially right before Christmas. And I'm just really excited, and it's just a blessing. I'm truly happy.
I was actually hoping for 12:12 p.m. as well, but she ended up coming 11:40 and
11:40 a.m.?
11:40 p.m. No, a.m. I'm sorry, yes, a.m.
Just before noon. Huh?
Yep, just before noon. We only had 32 minutes, but she didn't want to stay in.
So in other words, watch down the future and all that. She started doing things on her own time, huh?
Yeah. I knew she was going to be special, especially we had ultrasound picture of her showing peace sign. So
really?
yeah. so she's like the peace baby.
Oh, I'm overjoyed, overwhelmed, so blessed. It's a perfect family, and she just topped it right off.
It's funny because I was supposed to be induced yesterday at 5 p.m. and I woke up yesterday morning. I'm like, we gotta go. So she was making her own plans.
Was she on time, late, early, or?
No, she was right on time.
Right on time.
Yep.
They've all been born here and in Fairbanks, all these three. So, yep, it's been a blessing.
What it means to be adding another one to the fold.
Oh, they're just God's little miracles, her little blessings. Just love them.
Oh, it's so unbelievable. It still feels unreal to me. You know, I didn't think she was going to be here till at least next week, but she was late by like 5 days. And I think her birthday's pretty cool. 12/12/12. We were really hoping for her to be born yesterday, and we barely made it.
He was hoping that it would be on 12/12/12 because it's one of her friends' birthdays, and I don't know, it's just a cool date.
Yeah.
Just seeing her for the first time changed everything for me. I don't know, I can't really explain it. It's hard to put everything into words, yeah.
Lots going on in the local sports despite the cold temperatures outside, and Daryl Lewis is anxiously waiting in the wings with your sports report. Mr. Lewis is next. Stay tuned.
And welcome back, Interior Alaska. Daryl Lewis in the house, and yeah, the temperatures have dipped back down to sub-zero levels after that dumping of snow we received earlier in the week. But weather's for later. Right now, sports. And with many of our sports teams on the road, that's where we start, way down the Richardson Highway in Delta Junction. Now, I talked to longtime Delta Junction coaches and basketball heads. They say they can't remember it happening ever. That's a long time. Delta Junction actually beating Lathrop. But that's exactly what happened Friday night with the girls. Now, down the road in Delta Junction, the Lady Malamutes found themselves in an unwelcoming situation in their visit to the Lady Huskies. Malamutes looking good early on as they jumped out to a 13-zip lead, but basketball being a game of runs, oh, it was far from over. The Huskies scrambled back in this one, led by Jess Reeder, whose 8 trifectas helped her drop 34 total points on the visitors, and the Huskies won a close one, 54-52. Now, on the boys' side, the Malamutes looking for a different result than their female counterparts. After one, the Malamutes led the host Huskies 21-10 and 35-18 at the break. Malamutes moved the ball well as Gabe Cunningham had a team-high 14 points, with Everett Green dropping 12 all along the way. 2 other Malamutes also had 9 points in the win. Life on ice, and one of the sweetest feelings in sports is putting the dagger in the heart of your former team. Yeah, I know. Last night over at the Big Dipper, the West Valley Wolfpack and Lathrop Malamutes, crosstown rivals, went at it again, this time for 3 full periods. West Valley struck late in the first, but Lathrop wouldn't stay down long as the Malamutes buried the puck to tie it. This one would go into the final period before former Malamute, now West Valley junior, Ty Munson, snapped the tie and sent the Wolfpack home victorious.
It was fun, but very nervous. I was nervous the whole game. Legs were shaking the whole game.
Why were you nervous?
Playing against all my friends from my old school.
It's consistency. I'm playing well. My players really let me see the puck, which makes it a lot easier to do that. Once they let me see the puck, I stop the puck on the first one. I do my job, and they do their job, and we win games.
Now, kicking it on up to football and talking about the fellas who get paid to play. Football Night in America is this Sunday at 7 Eastern. For a preview of Sunday's matchup, let's head on over to the Football Night in America set and Dan Patrick. Fellas, take it away.
Welcome to the set, Football Night in America. Dan Patrick, Tony Dungy, and Rodney Harrison. Niners-Patriots coming up next Sunday night on NBC. Are we on the same page, everybody, with the Niners? How good they are?
Well, I think they're very good on defense, and I think they're a very good football team when the game is kind of played the way they want to play it, low scoring, tight, physical. But they're going to have some problems because now they're going to go to a place where they've got to outscore you.
Well, the good thing for the Niners is they have a front four that can get to Tom Brady. Also, they can match up man-to-man across the board with all those weapons of Tom Brady. But I think it comes down to pressuring Tom Brady, hitting him, getting him off that spot, and making him feel uncomfortable. He's a different quarterback when you put pressure up the middle on him.
He is, but how do you think Colin Kaepernick is going to respond in a game that he might have to put up 24, 28 points? This is not going to be a game you're going to win 10-7.
Plus the looks that Belichick's going to give him.
See, everyone says that, but it's not a complicated scheme anymore. He doesn't have a lot of veteran players. He doesn't really trust those young guys back there to run all those exotic schemes. It's mostly zone coverage, man-to-man, and cover two. Dan.
So we overrate now Belichick.
You do.
You
keep saying that every week. All this exotic scheme by Belichick. It's not that, Dan.
Well, you keep telling us how great he is, and he's a genius in all of those.
He is a good coach.
So we just keep thinking maybe he's going to.
Well, he's the smartest coach I know.
Wow. Wow. Niners, Patriots coming up next Sunday night here on NBC. We'll see you at 7 Eastern. For Rodney Harrison and his former good friend Tony Dungy, I'm Dan Patrick.
Gonna be a good one. And that's all I've got for sports on this chilly Saturday evening. Thanks for rolling with me for a spell. Now, as I said earlier, weather's later, and it's now at hand. Holly's back with that in just a moment. Keep warm, stay tuned. She's next, and we'll see ya. Now, you know where I'm going with this. I'm never one to question Mother Nature, and I won't do it tonight. But she really needs to make up her mind.
Oh, I hear that. Yeah. And you'll find that she won't. But,
right.
But that's for later. First, we're going to start with our almanac. This is for December 15th. It shows a normal high of 5 degrees and a normal low of 12 below. Our record high was set in 1994 at 35 degrees, and our record low, always proving that it could be worse, at almost 60 degrees below zero, was set in 1910. The sun rose this morning at 10:54 a.m. and will set shortly after at 2:41 p.m. It gave us 3 hours and 47 minutes of daylight, a 2-minute loss since yesterday. Here is weather around our state today. Fort Yukon is cloudy with flurries. Barrow is mostly cloudy with flurries. Nome is cloudy with a high around 5 below. Outside our new studio, it's partly cloudy with patchy ice fog. Denali is partly cloudy as well with up to 15-mile-per-hour wind. Juneau is seeing rain showers at the moment, but they will turn into snow showers by this afternoon. 2 inches of snow accumulation is expected for them. A rain and snow mixture is falling on Ketchikan today. Bethel is mostly cloudy. Cold Bay is partly sunny with isolated snow showers and up to 35-mile-per-hour wind. Anchorage and Homer are both sunny today. Valdez is partly sunny with up to 55-mile-per-hour wind. Kodiak could see up to 55-mile-per-hour wind as well with sunny skies. Checking in on the lower 48. There's an active coastal flood watch in Seattle today with overcast skies and rain, a high in the high 30s. Las Vegas is partly cloudy with a chance of rain, highs in the low 50s. It's overcast today in Denver with a chance of snow and highs in the high 40s. Dallas is partly cloudy to clear skies with up to 15-mile-per-hour wind, highs in the low 70s. It's partly cloudy in Miami with rain showers, highs in the high 70s, and New York is mostly cloudy with a chance of rain, highs in the high 40s. Back in Alaska, flurries are expected in Fort Yukon and Barrow tomorrow, while Nome will be cloudy. Fairbanks is projected to see some light flurries as well tomorrow, but it won't do anything to warm us up. Denali Park is also seeing flurries with cloudy skies. Rain showers are expected in Juneau and Ketchikan. Ketchikan could also see up to 20-mile-per-hour wind. It'll be mostly sunny in Bethel tomorrow with wind chill making it feel like 35 below. Cold Bay will be partly sunny with up to 40-mile-per-hour wind, and Kodiak could see up to 45-mile-per-hour winds with partly cloudy skies. Partly sunny skies are expected to move over Anchorage tomorrow. Homer will be clear with up to 20-mile-per-hour wind, and Valdez could see up to 50-mile-per-hour wind with partly cloudy skies. And the heavy wind won't be a problem for us, just really, really cold weather. That, let's face it, we're pretty used to by now. 44 below is our overnight low tonight with partly cloudy skies. Plug in your cars and give yourselves extra time to get to your destinations. It is a little slick out there. And tomorrow we'll see continued cold weather with highs in the negative 20s and partly cloudy skies. Another 40 below overnight low is expected for Sunday night as well. And here's what we're talking about, our extended forecast for the upcoming work week. We'll start Monday with partly cloudy skies and a single-digit negative high. We'll see nice days, but pretty cold nights and mostly cloudy skies until Thursday, when our daily high will be in the negative 20s and our overnight low could reach 50 below. Brr. Stay warm until J.R. Lewis sees you next week. Because we're out of here.
Yeah, we're traveling.
We're done with the cold for 2 whole weeks. I'm going to Oregon to visit my family.
I'll be in the Bahamas for
Bahamas.
sure. Yes, and then over to Denver to visit family and all this.
Man.
So I won't be back till 2013.
No, but J.R. Lewis is going to take care of you guys for the next 2 weeks. And he'll do a great job, as he does every morning.
Yes, definitely.
So that's going to wrap up this edition of the Saturday Evening News. We're really glad you could join us.
Now join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime at webcenter11.com. And be sure to join us right back here bright and early Monday morning as that other Lewis, JR, brings you the Fairbanks Morning News and your morning updates every half hour.
From all of us here at the News Center, have a great night.